Hey y'all, it's Taylor from tattooedteacherplans. Welcome back to my channel. Today we're wrapping up February in my memory planner, and I have this adorable kit from Shop Jessica Hearts, and I really love Breakfast at Tiffany's. It's one of my favorite movies. Yes, it is problematic looking back, but it's such an old movie that, like, I don't know if I give it I don't excuse it, but I accept that it was made in its time. I don't know. Anyway, I love this movie. I find it to be funny and hopeful and sad all at the same time. So it's kind of like you just get everything with that movie. If you've never seen it, definitely watch it because it is a beautiful film and I love this kit. It's so cute and it reminds me so much of the actual movie. So we've got the full boxes here, got a bunch of half boxes and date covers, weekend banner. The bottom washi is so beautiful. It looks like dingy a little bit, which is what the movie kind of portrays. Like, yes, it shows the beautiful side, but it also shows like the kind of more gritty side of the city and like the people there. And then we've got a bunch of functional stuff on this page. And then this is something that I added on. So I've got the glitter headers and some more boxes here. So let me show you the spread in my everyday planner. So this is This is a crafty banana kit and the plan with me is up if you would like to go watch this. It's called the Winter Collection. I just have to fill in one more thing, but I definitely wanted to get this spread filmed today. So I'm gonna put this over here and I've got some pictures up here I'm gonna include, and I think we are ready to get started. So as always, we're going to start with the bottom washi, which I love the vibe of. It's just so cool, and if you've seen the movie, you like that. It reminds me of like the whole, just the feeling of New York in that movie. It's just perfect. And then we're going to go ahead and put down the glitter headers. I'm going to do the black across the top. I thought it would just look kind of classic and pretty, which I was right. And I really like the contrast with the black against kind of the more neutral and muted colors in the bottom washi. And then I'm just going to write in the numbers on the date covers because I'm lazy and I didn't feel like finding some numbers. So I just used a black pen, obviously, and I think it looks just fine. I really like how they kind of mirror the bottom washi as well. It looks really cool. And then I'm going to put in the beautiful weekend banner right there, and I broke it, but I fixed it. It looks okay. And then we're going to go over to the sidebar. I'm going to white out the hexagon, and then I'm going to put in this full box that says Moon River, wider than a mile. And if you know the movie and the song, you're probably singing it in your head right now. And then I had to put a full box at the bottom. Well, I didn't have to, but I chose to, and I picked the phone, and then I put a half box right above that. So there weren't any headers in this kit, so I just decided to use one of the little flags here and put this week on it. I will come back and fill in that journaling section in a little bit. So I wanted to make sure I didn't put the double box scene of New York anywhere close to the bottom washi, just because like I didn't want it to, I don't know, I just thought it would be weird. And so I put that up in the top corner, and then I put down the bathtub, and then I will come back and do the rest later. So we're going to start with Monday, and first we had a rough day in my 9th period that day. It has since gotten a lot better. I did some targeted parent meetings and things like that, and I had our behavior resource officer helped me with some kinks that were happening there. So it's better. It's not perfect and it probably never will be, but we're going to survive the year. And then I put down the little kitty cat, and then at the bottom I wanted to put in that it's like a little screenshot of my month so far, but I didn't have enough room. So I'm going to move it to the next day in a moment. There we go. So my plan with me that day was my Netflix and chill, which is one of my favorite spreads. I loved it. So because I wanted to make a note about that, I just kind of did it and drew an arrow just to kind of make it make sense. I did end up making it all the way through February with a perfect month, which has never happened before. I was very proud of myself. And then above that, I put in a picture of my dinner that night, which was delicious. I made just some eggs with some cauliflower gnocchi and a lot of vegetables, and it was so good. And then I put in a little note here that I had a chat with my sister on FaceTime, and we started planning out our spring break trip, which everything is booked now, and I'm ready to go. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to go see a show, and we're going to go to Waco for the night, and we're just going to have a great time. I love spending time with my sister and my nephew. Above that, I put a little update on Tuesday that we're making some progress, but it's slow and it's very frustrating because I know it can be better, but it's not there yet. If you're a teacher, you know what I'm talking about. You have that one class that's like just doesn't vibe together how you want it to. And then on Wednesday, I put down the picture of a girl dressed up as Audrey from the movie, and I thought that is just so perfect with her little croissant. And then below that, we had a little send-off for our state wrestlers. They did really well. And by send-off, I mean we get like all of the fire trucks and all of the vehicles that make noises and lights. And they kind of like announce their departure, and the kids get to kind of sit on top of the fire truck and stuff. It's cute. And they get to run through a sign and all of that. And then below that, I put a note in that my chiropractor said that I'm making progress. It's slow going, but it is happening. And then on Thursday, I started with a note about my best friend, Kat, and how she had a rough day. Yeah, her whole year has been kind of like hindered by a situation that is like out of her control a little bit, and I just felt so bad for her, and I was trying to like talk her down. We didn't ride together that day, but we kind of talked on the way to school on the phone, and it all worked out okay, but I really felt bad for her. And then that afternoon, I had a great conversation with my friend Jennifer, who's also one of our principals, and our conversation was private, but I will say that she understood that I just wanted to be treated fairly, that I put in there. And then I kind of repositioned that full box a little bit, and then I had this picture that I wanted to include of kind of an image from Instagram about creating your own story. And then I also put in a note right there about my Stitch Fix, which is basically how I buy my clothes now. I haven't gone clothes shopping in a store in a very long time. I love Stitch Fix. I haven't ever had like a perfect box. I've gotten close a couple times, but this one was okay. Wasn't terrible, but it wasn't great either. And then on Friday, I started with a little note that besides Monday, it was a great week. I think it's important to note when you have a good day in your memory planner or your, scrapbook, however you kind of memory keep. And I just wanted to make note of that because sometimes you remember the bad things, but you don't necessarily remember to note the good things. So I'm trying to be better about that in 2020. And then below that, I just have this little emoji eating a bunch of pizza. Well, a slice, but I had more than one slice. And I watched The Stranger on Netflix. It was really good. And then I also colored my hair for the first time in a long time. And it was much needed. Mainly just my roots, but I did end up coloring my whole head. And I do that mainly, I pick a color that's very close to my natural color, but it's mainly to keep the texture of my hair a little bit rough because I have fine hair and it's curly and it needs to have a little bit of texture to it. And then I put this box over on Saturday to mark in that I got my FabFitFun box, and it was so good. I loved everything in it. It was great. And I love when that happens, when you get like one of those compilation boxes, and it just has everything you could ever want. And it was just fun to kind of try out those products. Haven't found anything that's a dud yet, but I'm sure one of them will be. And then I have this little screenshot of this new show on Hulu called High Fidelity, and it was so good. I had kind of binged it the week before and then had a couple episodes. I do this with like every show. I like leave a couple of episodes just to like savor it a little bit. So I finished it on this morning and it was so good. I loved it. I kind of want to rewatch it. And then on Sunday, I started with a little note about the view. I really just didn't have anything to mark on Saturday or Sunday. So I had taken these pictures on the way to work on Friday, and the sky was just so beautiful, and I loved it. So I just put in here a view of the drive on my way to work, and I just didn't like having too much yellow on this side of the page. So I ended up pulling that up and rewriting it on a different one, which, come to find out, is the same pattern as the one right next to it, but I didn't realize that until later, and it was too late to kind of fix it. And I didn't like the way I wrote that, so I decided to just pull in a little thing that was black. And then I'm going to go back to my journaling section over here. My favorite moment of the week was definitely my talk with my friend Jennifer. Sometimes I like to look back at the week when I'm picking and just kind of see what pops out at me, and that definitely did. And then because I didn't really have a lot to talk about and I wanted to include this quote, I put that right there. And then despite the bullshit, it really was a great week. So that pretty much sums up this week. So here is the finished spread. I love it so much. This kit is just perfection. No one does photo kits like Shop Jessica Hearts, which is why I use her monthlies nearly every month. But I just love this. The vibe of it is just so awesome. And then this week was just kind of it was a good week. Like, there were definitely some dips, but overall it was a really, really good week. And I'm grateful for that to round out February. So I hope that you enjoyed this plan with me. If you did, give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. And I'll see you next time. Bye!